Every day I take the same route in and out of the city. I don't live too far, around 30 years old, so in a quiet suburb just a few minutes drive away. The road I take at night is always very quiet, which is a relief compared to the traffic during the day. I was driving on this road. Everything was as usual. It was just past 10 o'clock at night. I was listening to music, happy that I was almost home. This was 10 minutes away from the woods, right before the suburbs began. A light shone from the road. At first there was nothing, but when it got closer it was really bright, like I could barely see. I had to stare at the shoulder to make sure I stayed in my lane. But just when I thought they were going to pass me, I suddenly caught a glimpse of their tires right in my lane. They were driving on the wrong side of the road and almost had a head-on collision with me. My instinctive reaction kicked in. I turned right, immediately drove off the road, and crashed headfirst into the ditch by the edge of the woods. It took me a few seconds to come to my senses, but I didn't seem to be seriously hurt. I unbuckled my seatbelt and jumped out of the car. It was definitely totaled. The entire front was almost torn off. Honestly, it looked like I should have died in there. Then I remembered what had happened. I immediately got angry. I climbed out of the ditch and looked toward the road. I had expected to see their car lights fading away in the distance, but to my surprise they had stopped not far away. Before approaching them, I quickly looked around the area, realizing how isolated we were. So before confronting them, I ran back to my car and picked up my phone to call the police. I didn't know who was in that car above, or whether they were drunk or angry, so I thought it was better to be careful. The operator said they would be there in 5 minutes, so I hung up and started walking toward the ditch. But I was startled by a person standing on top of the ditch. He didn't ask if I was okay and didn't say anything. "Is it you who made me crash?" "You could have killed me," I said, trying to hold back my anger until the police arrived. He still didn't say anything, but suddenly the lights on the road got brighter, shining toward where he was standing. I was still in the ditch, but could see that it was the same car, driven by another person. They reversed all the way to the edge of the ditch. Then the driver's door opened, and another person got out. The two began talking in a different language. I think Russian or German. I'm not good at languages, but it sounded aggressive when they spoke. One person rushed to the back of the car and opened the trunk, but he didn't take anything out. Instead, he turned around to face them. The two immediately ran toward me and rushed into the ditch. It took me less than a second to put the pieces together. I turned and ran into the woods. Those people ran around my car and continued chasing me. They were all tall, looked bigger guys, so after a minute of sprinting I lost them. Now I was in the middle of the woods. Couldn't see where I was going at all. I didn't even know which direction was which. There was no sound of people nearby. I wandered aimlessly in the woods. I didn't want to go back to the road while those people were still nearby, but I also didn't want to get completely lost, so the police couldn't help me. After walking for just a few minutes, I heard sirens in the distance to my left. I followed the sound all the way to the road, where I could see a police car parked on top of the ditch, and 2 officers checking my car. There was no trace of those people anywhere. I explained what happened. They wrote a report, but there was little follow-up investigation, because they only described that nothing was stolen from my car. Although it was pretty obvious they intended to throw me in the trunk. It is currently unclear whether this was planned before or after the crash. Maybe they made a mistake, or maybe it was to cover it up, or maybe everything went exactly as they wanted.